So what's up you guys, and welcome to my FPL Game Week 2 Analysis and Game Week 3 Preview video. Manchester United continued their fiery form with a 4-0 win over Swansea. It was very exciting to watch. But let's take a look at how I got on this game week in the FPL. So here it is in all its glory, my 31 points. That's 13 below the average. Now here's the thing, I could stand here in front of you guys and cry. I literally could stand here and cry about how terrible this week has gone. Instead, I'm choosing to spin it a bit like this. You guys don't want to see me winning every week. I mean, you don't. It would just get boring, surely. And as I'm a YouTuber of the people, you guys want to see all my warts and all. Well, FPL ones anyway. And as you know, if you watched my last video, my faults are most definitely starting the season badly. I'll explain a little later on in the video how I plan to fix those faults. But before that, let's take a brief look at these leagues. And then let's never speak of them again. Look at all those red arrows. Oh dear. Though, as I did explain in my last video, I did expect there to be lots of drops this week, as I knew my team that I set up for the first game week wasn't a brilliant one, but I did nothing to fix it for this game week, as I banked both my transfers. So, barring another game week with my Game Week 1 team was never going to end well. Those of you that watch my live on Friday night with Kurt will be wondering how I got on in the head-to-head league with him. He beat me with 51 points to my 31. Pop over to his channel and take a look at the live if you want to know what it is we discussed. But he was definitely hoping for the Southampton boys to come good. And boy, did they. Well done, Kurt. I must be good luck. Next up in that league, I have the average. In the Battle of the Sexes League, the boys have grabbed another win over the girls. That's 2 for 2 for them. My opponent in that, Robbie, at Cricket Song 117, got a very nice 50 points. Well done lads, you're smashing it. Come on girls, let's pick this up. As for my draft league, a mix-up with the wrong ints on drafting and me playing him seen me getting no points in the middle of the park. This site is a little different, as your bench players don't get subbed in. So if any of your starting 11 doesn't play, none of those bench players will get subbed in as replacements. So it's all about your starting 11. You have to choose wisely. And it's kind of fun. So on that note, I've made a few changes to players that I wanted to draft in. And I've gone with Rohan Ince to Antonio. He was a free agent and I'm hoping he'll be able to pick me up some points in the coming game week. Lowton to me, that was basically just a like for like because I thought that me has been looking a bit more promising over the last 2 game weeks. And Aki for Blind. Blind seems to be getting the game time at the moment under Jose, and Bournemouth are looking shaky at the back, so that's why I did that change there. So I'm going with this starting lineup against FC Chandley. Fingers crossed, we'll see how we get on. And now on to Game Week 3. I agonised on what to do for this game week. Should I use my wild card? Should I take some hits? Should I do nothing at all? It's a confusing time in an FPL manager's season when they don't start very well. And every decision you make feels like it'll probably be the wrong one. So here is where I'm at. I'm thinking of doing something really bonkers. I already had 2 transfers banked, as you know, and there are 5 players that I would really like out of my team and 5 players I'd really like into my team. The 5 players I'm considering getting out of my team aren't necessarily bad players. It's just I'm hoping the players I get in for them will get me more points over the coming game weeks. So the players I'm looking to shift are Milivojevic, Milo as I call him, Nacho Monreal. Well, while there are injuries, he's playing centre-back and he is not coping well with that position. So I'm going to have to consider taking him out of the team. Joshua Kingy, he's just been a letdown. I really hope Bournemouth would set this season off brilliantly, but he hasn't brought me the kind of points I was hoping for. KDB, only simply because of how much money he is. He's the one player besides the next player who I really thought maybe I don't need to get these out of my team, but to free up a bit of cash, I'm hoping the move I will make for him will pay off better over time. And lastly, Salah. There is absolutely nothing wrong with Salah and he will bring people points. There is no doubt about that. The only worry with Salah is rotation. As we've seen last game week, we just don't know. Of course, he will most likely be playing against Arsenal and most likely score lots of goals against us. But long term, I'm not really sure. So bearing that in mind, on Saturday, I already knew that I definitely wanted King out and Milivojevic out. I really hate doing transfers early on in a game week. I really, especially on the game week that's actually happening. But on game week 2, on Saturday evening, my hand was forced, basically. It really puts everybody in a world of hurt. What happens is that it takes money away from the players that we already have and it pushes the price up of players that are going in, which of course happens naturally anyway. However, if you do it this early on in a game week and something happens to any of those players midweek, injury, rotation, transfers, then we've got nowhere to go. We're stuck. We've made that change. We had to make that change because of money, and now we've lost that money and we've lost a transfer. So that little rant over, or advice, however you want to take it. I was stuck and I knew that Chicharito's price was going up Saturday evening. I also know that Mooman's price was going up on Saturday, that's Moy, and I had a feeling that Milivojevic's price might go down and also that King's might go down. It was kind of in that waiver where it could have gone either way. So on Saturday night I used my 2 free transfers and I did those exact changes. But that then left me with a bit of a quandary. I now had 3 changes I knew I would like to make, but 3 changes seemed a bit excessive for a wildcard. So now I'm staring down the barrel at a minus 12 point hit. Yes, a minus 12 point hit this early on in the season. Am I mad? I'm nuts. I'm nuts. I'm crazy. I do not think people should do this. I really don't. But you know me, I like to be a little bit different. And as somebody put it brilliantly on Twitter, I think it was Who Got the Assist, they said it's taking a minus 12 point hit now and using your wildcard later, or using your wildcard now and taking a minus 12 hit later on. And yes, of course, if I played my wildcard this game week, there are other changes I would make. Obviously, Richie could be thought about getting out, Long could be thought about getting out. So there's a few other changes I would make. However, what I'm hoping for by holding my wildcard is that later on down the line, when people like Sanchez and Hazard are back and I've got more information about the up and coming stars and the point magnets and people like that, is that instead of my 5 changes, or effectively 3 changes for a minus 12, I'm hoping that a bit later on down the line, my wildcard will accommodate 5 to 8 changes and be much more effective. So who am I considering for the other 3? Well, as I've explained, I really don't want to get rid of KDB, but if I was getting rid of him, I'd be considering an Eriksen or a Mane for that position. As Liverpool, we've explained, have been shaky with rotation, I should imagine it will most likely be Eriksen. Then I would consider doing Salah to one of the Manchester midfielders, so a Mkhitaryan or a Pogba, probably depending on price, but I don't know if it's a bit of a myth. Maybe Pogba because he's possibly more nailed on. People seem to think that Jose likes him a bit better, so he may get more Premier League game time. And lastly, Nacho, if he goes back out on the wing, this could be a ridiculous move. but I would swap him for Alonso, and hopefully over time that would reap more rewards than keeping Nacho would. But what do you guys think? By all means, leave me a comment below. I'm interested to know what you think. I did a podcast with the @FanFewBoys this week, and you can hear all about my thoughts on transfers and their thoughts on transfers. If you want to check that out, I shall try and grab a link and put it in my appearances playlist. But that is it. That is you guys all up to date with my Game Week 2 and what I plan to do in Game Week 3. Keep an eye out on Twitter to see if I take the -12 or whether I chicken it. One thing's for sure, I will definitely have plenty to talk to you about in my next video. So don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification tab so you know when the next video is up. And please don't forget to like, contribute, and do all those fabulous things. Nymfria out.